In 2024, dating has become ruthless and competitive. With the technological advances we've made in society being the main culprit. Social media and dating apps have leveled the playing field. Today, women have an edge that they've never had, with choice and options at their fingertips. Now, the gap between the men who can and can is the highest it's ever been. So where does that leave you? Frustrated, disappointed, lonely, left on scene, canceled dates, ghosting, let's just be friends, and I need to get to know you more rejections. I know it seemed like you're on a dark, dead-end road, but that changes right now. I have the solution for you. I have the keys to transform you into the ladies' man that women can't resist. Yes, you too can be amongst the 5% of men who know this game. This system will teach you the entire seduction process from the initial approach all the way to sexual escalation. Gain valuable skills in screening, texting, flake prevention, sexual escalation, and so much more. Are you ready to start winning? Are you ready to become the ultimate ladies' man? Welcome, fellas, to the Captain Saver Bro Show, episode 66. Why men are sexless in the modern age. Let's get into it, guys. But first, like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That way you can get this good player-ish fresh off the press. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you give me a 5-star review. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments after you see this episode. We're going to get into it. Also, real quick, this episode is brought to you by the Ultimate Ladies Man Bundle. The Ladies Man Bundle, guys, that's coming on April 15th. You can go get on the wait list now at the Ladies Man Bundle. Excuse me. You can get on the wait list now at ultimateladiesman.com, or you can click the link wherever you see this at. You can click the link in the description, the bio, wherever you see this at, there's going to be a link. You sign up, get on the wait list. April 15th is going to be heavy. You understand? Summertime's coming up. The baby's coming out. The women are coming outside. The bops outside. The women looking for boyfriends. The women looking for hookups. And you got to know how to date. You're gonna have to know how to get out there and play the field. And so this bundle is about, and it's a bundle of courses and programs that's designed to teach you so you can learn how to screen women, how to be effective, how to be attractive, how to develop an attractive personality, where to take women on dates, what to say, what not to say, how to get an income, a steady stream of leads, how to set up your dating app profiles, how to escalate sexually, how to see if she's ready for you to escalate sexually, how to peep out signs, how to spot time wasters, how to build basic connection so that women can feel comfortable giving you their bodies super fast. All of this is going to be in here. Questions to ask women on dates to get them to open up so you can see who they really are and see what they're really about. How to spot the women who active, how to spot the women who looking for boyfriends. This is going to take care of you. It is about, I think it's 6 programs that come with it. Attraction 101, Modern Dating Mastery, Sexual Seduction and Bedroom Mastery, How to Last Longer and Fuck Better, and How to Have a Dominant Masculine Presence. So that's 5 programs. But not only do you get the 5 programs, you are going to get 5 live webinar training sessions. So we're going to have game sessions, and I'm going to have a different guy that's an expert in their area of field. Based on manhood, masculinity, finances, and they're going to come teach you every night for 5 days straight. So we got a credit guy coming. We got an inner game guy coming, all of this stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Fitness, how to get your money together. It's going to be crazy. Get on the wait list now. Not only do you get access to all of that, you get access to the Players Club, which is my private exclusive men's community. And so now you can get private and exclusive access to King Drake. Whenever you want to message me, whenever you got a problem, you can hit me up. And you're going to get weekly coaching when you get this bundle. So this will be out April 15th. Get on the wait list. You do not want to miss this. I'm telling you. Just a FYI. Things are about to change as far as my products and services go. I pretty much spread myself thin by creating so many courses. I was thinking that, I have to cover all of the bases, in which I kind of do. But my thing was, okay, they have a problem being attractive. I create a course for that. So I basically created a different course for every problem that you guys have. And in doing so, I've spread myself thin trying to promote all of these courses. You understand what I'm saying? And so now I have to simplify things, simplify my business model so it can make more sense, so it could be sustainable as I grow. Because at the rate I'm going right now, it's starting to get tiring. And that's not to say that I'm tired of creating content, but the business back end part is starting to get a little crazy. So I have to simplify things. So what I'm saying is things are about to change. So these programs that you see, when I do these bundles, you need to get them because they're going to be gone. I'm going to have something very, very affordable to start you in at the, the ground level, right? Which will more than likely be a community. And then my programs are going to be expensive. So it's not going to be the $500, $600. It's going to run you some change. So that's coming. So take advantage of stuff like this. Get on the wait list right now. Go to ultimatelady'sman.com or click the link in the bio wherever you're seeing this at. There'll be a link in the bio. Click that, get on the wait list. I will see you on the inside. But anyway, guys, let's get into this game. Hey, look. So when I was just doing the intro, I said the babies is coming out, right? Hey, listen, let's get this straight right motherfucking now. In Florida, specifically in Tampa, that's what we call beautiful women, the little babies, right? The babies. Not like babies like teenagers and little girls. That's not what I mean. So, that's just how we talk in Florida. The babies out. Oh, it's some babies there. It's some babies at the party. That's what we mean. No, ain't no freaky shit or no weird shit, no shit like that. So please don't take it like that. But anyway, guys, I wanted to do this kind of too with the theme of like with the Ladies Man Bundle. I wanted to kind of talk about, probably the next episode too. We'll talk about like the game stuff and not as much as like, oh, the boogeyman woman and, we're going to do some game stuff, but I kind of wanted to talk about a problem that we have in this society now, where men are not getting laid like they used to get laid. I think 1/3 of men are sexless or haven't had sex in the last year. You got a bunch of guys who are virgins and all of that stuff, and I wanted to talk about that today. I saw an article. Well, I'm gonna read an article, and I'm gonna kind of react to the article, and then break down the article, and then I'm gonna give you the reasons why men are not having as much sex, or men is not as successful as with relationships as they used to be, right? But let's get into the article here. It says it's from healthline.com. Why young adults, especially men, are having sex less frequently. It says people are having less sex, and the decline is being seen among younger adults, particularly men. The trend may have more to do with the internet and dating apps than morality, fear, pregnancy, or easy access to porn. So they're saying that it has more to do with the internet and dating apps than fear of pregnancy and easy access to porn, which I disagree as far as the porn thing. But it says between 2000 and 2002 and 2016 and 2018, past year sexual inactivity rose from almost 19% to almost 31% among men ages 18 to 24. According to the research led by Dr. Peter, can't read that last name, a postdoctoral researcher at the Karolinska Institute in Stockholm, Sweden, sexual inactivity among women of the same age remained relatively constant, rising from 15 to 19% over the same time period. Now, let me say this. Women be capping. Like women be lying to their doctors. Women lie on surveys. Women lie in the public on interviews. So you got to take things that women say with a grain of salt. A lot of the times, a lot of the sex that women have, they don't even count. So if they get asked in a survey, hey, when was the last time you had sex? And it was no condom. I mean, it was condom sex, but the dude only lasted 15 seconds. They won't even count that. And so the data be skewed when you be talking to women. But it says the The study also found that sexual activity declined significantly among men and women ages 25 to 34 years old. 7% versus 14% among men, 7% versus 12% among women. Sexual activity did not decline among adults 35 and 44-year-olds. That's because we be outside. We know what to do. Fewer adults also reported having sex weekly and more frequently. Unmarried, low income, and unemployed or part-time employed men were more likely to have had no sex within the past year than those who were married, had higher income, or had jobs. That is worth noting. That's worth paying attention to. It seems like in the U.S. and elsewhere, it might be harder for a proportion of the population to establish themselves in society, in the labor market, and perhaps also in the dating market. That has always been the case. From ages 18 to 24, it's always been hard for most guys to get laid, even back then. But I'll get into, we'll talk about more. I don't want to say harder, but it's been harder for a guy that was 27 with his shit together, if that makes sense. Not that it was just super hard and it couldn't happen, but if you out in the field, in the dating world, and you don't really have much but your swag, but then there's a 27-year-old who has things with swag too, you're gonna lose out to those guys. So the competition is a little rough when you're from 18 to 24. That's not a new age thing, or that's not a today's thing or a yesterday's thing. That's just the way it is. That's damn near science, right? It says, while the mean sexual frequency among those who are sexually active may reflect their priorities and preferences, sexual inactivity may reflect an absence of sexual intimate relationships with substantially different implications for individuals and society. The findings were drawn from the responses of 4,291 men and 5,213 women who took part in the U.S. General Social Survey between 2000 and 2018. Delayed adulthood may be a factor. So he's saying delayed adulthood. He's saying this generation of guys don't grow up. In a commentary accompanying the survey results, John, can't read the last name, PhD, a professor of psychology at San Diego University, said that similar declines in sexual activity have been shown in surveys conducted in Great Britain, suggesting that the trend isn't limited to the United States. So they're going through the same thing in the UK. Twins said that young adults may be having less sex because they're taking longer to progress to adulthood. Sex ain't, I don't know where, who they talking to or where they living at or what society they come from, but sex has always started in the teens, to rebellious teenagers. In this society, at least from, I don't want to say the 50s and 60s, but I know in the 70s, I wasn't born in the 70s, of course, but even in the 80s, like my mother had me when she was fucking 16 or 15 or some shit like that, like real shit. And even back then, like girls started, it's kind of creepy, but girls started having sex with older dudes, like in the 40s and 50s, and like women have sex, and sex is a teenage. People start doing that as soon as they start getting horny. You see what I'm saying? And in free societies like ours, that's not an adulthood thing. Yes, adults have sex, of course, but in our society, we don't wait till real adults to have sex, and we never have. So them saying that, delay adulthood may be a factor, I don't agree with that. This includes postponement of not just sexual activity, but also other activities related to mating, reproduction, including dating, living with a partner, pregnancy, and birth, she said. However, these reproductive trends have not occurred in isolation. Instead, they are part of a broader cultural trend towards delayed development. For example, adolescents in the 2010s were less likely to drive, drink alcohol, go out without their parents, and work at paid jobs compared to adolescents in previous decades. Yes, we was outside. It's not just young men who are having less sex than a generation ago. It's young women too. That's cap, said Jeffrey, PhD, a research professor at Clark University in Massachusetts and an originator of the theory emerging adulthood. Defined as the same time from the end of adolescence to the beginning of young adulthood responsibilities such as stable job, marriage, and parenthood. It's part of an overall trend toward less risky behavior since 1990, including not only sex, but alcohol use, risky driving, and criminal activity. I don't know. Just from my experience, these young motherfuckers are way wilder than we were. Like even like when you see the spring breaks and like these music festivals and all of this shit, like we had that going on too, but they way more wild. They way more free. Women are way more freaking, we way more wild shit, you know. And it's way more of them. So, finishing digital media distractions. Porn probably isn't the problem. That's cap. I want to look into the dude who said this. Since research shows that pornography users are actually more sexually active. That's cap. Rather, she suggested the vast entertainment options offered by the internet and digital media as a whole may be distracting young people from developing real life relationships. I wholeheartedly agree with that, and I'm gonna talk about that later. Although internet sites and social media should be theoretically make it easier to find new sexual partners, time spent online has been displaced time once spent on face-to-face social interaction. Between the 24-hour availability of entertainment and the temptation to use smartphones and social media, sexual activity may not be as attractive as it once was. Put simply, there are now many more choices of things to do in the late evening than there once were, and fewer opportunities to initiate sexual activity if both partners are engrossed in social media, electronic gaming, or binge watching. A clinical sexologist told Healthline that decades-long decline in male testosterone levels may also play a role in sexual activity, and that the Me Too movement may also be playing a part. Women are more empowered to say both yes and no and intolerant of coercion or forced sex. That's crazy. Hey, see, look, I only skimmed over this article. I only skimmed over this article. I didn't see this part. This kind of just triggered me. Not really triggered me, but excuse me, I just received like an emergency text. But I only skimmed over this article. So she said women are more empowered to say both yes and no and intolerant of coercion or forced sex. No, women are way more freakier now. So it's basically she trying to say that niggas was taking it. That's why it was more back then. That's bullshit. She tripping. She added that fewer unwanted pregnancies and sexually transmitted diseases might be some of the positive benefits associated with declining sexual activity. Quarantines and physical distancing mandates associated with the C-19 pandemic are likely to make sexual activity even more common, at least in the short term. If the increase in sexual activity is partly driven by unemployment and lower income, which is also capped because poor people fuck the most. Poor people fuck the most, they have the most kids, and you know what I'm saying? That's just, you can look throughout society, different cultures, and you can see that maybe I don't want to say, well, I don't know the economic status of people in China and Japan and shit, most people, but because those people, those races and groups of people have a very large population, but typically poorer people fuck more and have more children. You know what I'm saying? As people who are more well-to-do are more quote unquote responsible, and I'm using quotes, they feel like children and having many children that you can't afford is irresponsible and it'll weigh you down from succeeding or living the lifestyle that you want. That's just always been the case. This is why you see, like, you know, especially back then, and even now, like with most middle class families in the United States, they would have one or two children. You see what I'm saying? Or rich kid or rich families, they would have one or two children. Whereas the bitch in the project got 6 kids. You see what I'm saying? The white chick in the white bitch in the trailer park got 4 kids. the Mexicans is 10 of them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? It ain't trying to do no stereotypical type shit, but you see what I'm saying? So I just, that's cap. I think the whole world is less sexual because of COVID. The findings also may have implications beyond sexuality. A key question is to what extent sexual inactivity is associated with dissatisfaction. Sexual inactivity and potential dissatisfactions with it seem to be sensitive topics, perhaps so than sex. While much work has been done to promote a frank, nuanced discussion about sex and sexual activity, it would be in our best interest to also be better at talking about not having sex. We need to improve the public discussion regarding the topic. How long did this shit go on for? Oh, it's almost over. What exactly is sex? Sex and relationship researcher and director of sexual health promotion lab at the University of Kentucky told Healthline that while the study bases sexual inactivity on the survey's question, how often did you have sex during the last 12 months? It does not provide a clear definition of sex. This is what I'm saying. Sex is different when you ask a woman. So if you ask a man, what is sex? We'll tell you what sex is. But if you ask a woman is just all these different, you see what I'm saying? So some participants may have interpreted the terms have sex and sex partners using the definition of vaginal intercourse, or sex partners as referring to only relational partners. So some women don't even count sex if it's not with their boyfriends, basically. You see what I'm saying? So when they say women have less sex, women have less sex too, that's fucking cap. That's crazy. The women don't even count sex if it's not with their boyfriend. Whereas others may have considered sex to include oral sex and mutual masturbation. That's another thing. Like a woman don't, like if a woman give you head, she don't count that as sex. I'm not saying every woman, but a lot of women, they don't, if they just give you head, they don't count that as sex. If they eat you out, if you eat them out, they don't count that as sex. If you do, hit it from, go through the back door, so to speak. If you go through the back door and don't do vaginal, they don't count that as sex. A lot of women. While heteronormative assumptions of what constitutes so-called real sex remain a defining feature of sex, we omit all other kinds of things people enjoy as sex. If we include sex with other genders, masturbation, oral sex, and anal sex, I'm not sure that stats would say young men are having less sex. Perhaps they'd say young men are having more sex that's pleasure-focused rather than replaying heteronormative scripts. No, he ain't having no masturbation, ain't sex. Let's get that straight. So no, that's I don't want to say left wing cope, but that's modern. I don't even know what to call these type of people. Cope, basically. But anyway, that's the article. But I wanted to. The reason that I'm doing this is because it's concerning, and to get real and break it all the way down. When you are not able to be successful and reproduce like you're here to do on the earth, it taxes your mental health. And so there's a good correlation, a real correlation between a guy who is not successful at getting intimacy and mental health problems such as anxiety and depression. That's a reason why. Because you're supposed to reproduce and you're supposed to be productive. When you're not productive and you're not reproducing at a young age. Now, once you get 40 and your testosterone levels drop and you just fuck these hoes, I'm just going to focus, that's a little bit different. But I'm talking about in young men. When you're not productive and you're not reproducing, it's going to tax you mentally. And this is the state that we in. When you see these guys doing this wild stuff, running up in these schools, running up in these grocery stores, a lot of these guys be incels, and not incels and that something is wrong with them, but just like loser mentality incels. And I'm gonna talk about that in a second too. This taxes the mental health of young men, just as when women don't value sex like men do. So women's you know, biological function is to reproduce as well, but women are hardwired for love and safety and security. And so when a woman is not successful at that, it taxes her mental health. That's why you see chicks who just get ran through, they typically have mental health issues. When you see chicks who are not successful in their long-term relationships or have short-term relationships over and over and over, by the time she's 40, she's bitter and burnt out. When we can't be successful with the opposite sex, it's going to tax you mentally. You understand what I'm saying? And so a woman's measure of success is not her having sex with a man, because any man would have sex with her. A woman's measure of success is her being able to get love from a strong man, have children, be cared for, provided for, be treated great, and all of this shit. Whereas a man's measure of success is sexual submission and sexual gratification and sexual submission and being able to conquer a woman. That's a man's measure of success. I'm not saying that men don't hold families and stuff in a high regard, because they do, but at a large portion of a man's life, it's sex first. It's a sex first thing. And so when they can't do that, which they hold in high regard as a high priority, it's going to tax your mental health. And so, this leads to bullshit. This leads to bullying online. This leads to trolls. This leads to unproductivity and all type of goofy shit that you see a lot of the young kids doing today. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't getting no pussy. That was always when you see one of these dudes that be wild in the streets and rough and tough and just doing dumb shit, it's like he don't get no pussy. He ain't getting no pussy. Typically the dudes, for the most part, at least back then, I'm not saying that gangsters who get pussy won't get busy, but typically the dudes who be crashing out doing the dumb shit don't be getting no pussy. Meaning like the dudes who will run up in a 7-Eleven and, regardless if it's only $20 in there, or the dude who will run up in a Family Dollar and try to rob a Family Dollar get 100 years, the dudes don't be getting no pussy. You see what I'm saying? The dude who will rob an innocent lady, and no matter how many cameras, and these dudes, the dudes that don't be getting no pussy. These dudes who crashing out. I'm not saying that dudes who gangsters don't get pussy, because gangsters do get pussy, but the crash out dudes don't be getting no pussy. Even when you take it outside of a criminal element, I don't say a criminal element, but even the guys who, like the white guys who do weird shit and be, I don't even talk about that, but these dudes don't be getting no pussy. The dudes who are the people who are most toxic online, spreading misinformation, trolling, doxing people, just being toxic, these dudes ain't getting no pussy. It just creates the pussyless man just creates because you get pussy, pussy make you feel, but pussy make everybody feel better. Pussy make it all right, at least till you can get some more. And so, these dudes are running around just fucking built up energy and passion and bitterness, and it's just doing goofy, dumb shit, making it harder for everybody else. And so I kind of want to, that's a part of my mission and why I do what I do to change that. Now, why? We're gonna get into why, but it blows my mind that guys are struggling today, because women standards are lower than they've ever been. And this is coming from a guy who has been dating since 1999. It is now 2024. That's 25 years, right? I lost my virginity in 1999. So I've been through a few different evolutions of women. From 2000 to 2006, women were a certain type of way. Then they changed and it just evolved. I've seen the evolution of women over the last 25 years. And the standards have just gone down and 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 down. Right? Back in the days, I'm not saying that freaks didn't exist. I'm not saying that sluts didn't exist or hoes, because they did. But even the sluts and the hoes Like you couldn't really, like, we had to act like we was about something. So what I'm saying is we had to act like we were better than we were. Not like act like we had more money than we did or act like we had a better job, but we had to act like our moral character was better than it was. We had to act like we ain't shit dudes. We had to act different. We had to act as if we were good dudes. That was like a part of the play to get the ass. Acting like you was not no ain't shit dude. Nowadays, bro, you could tell a woman you ain't got no job, you live with your mama, you got a baby daddy, you got a baby mama, you used to be gay, you just got out of prison, and you smoke weed all day, and you can still get some pussy. You can still get some pussy. Back then, that was kind of, you had to act, you had to be about something a little bit. And I'm not saying that was the case with every woman, but women back then too, they kind of phased in and out. So a woman to be a good girl all year, but then when Miami spring break comes, she'll go let it all hang out and then go back fucking to her hometown and be a good girl for the rest of the year. So a lot of the women wasn't like perpetual hoes. Every day I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna just be, I'm gonna date this nigga and hit him. Most women was not like that. If they did do their little hoeing, they do go to the freak off for a weekend and come back and just be squares and shit. I'm saying that to say that now it's just a hoe off. It's just women are more sexually liberated. That's what the article was like, coercion and all that shit. Women is throwing the pussy away like nothing. It is so easy to get laid now. It is almost unreal. It is almost unreal. Whereas it was almost a shame to be a slut. Like, women didn't want to dress. The women who dressed slutty back then, you knew they was just all the way gone. You know what I'm saying? They was just like, if you look at pictures of women, just look at pictures and videos of women in the early 2000s and in the 90s. Women didn't even dress the way that they dress now. They were even more conservative. Even if they was freaks or slut, they didn't really want people to know it. Whereas is now, they don't care if you know it. They getting on podcasts saying, I got 90 bodies by the age 24. They getting on podcasts saying, I just suck this dick. They getting on podcasts say, yeah, I fuck on the first night. Yeah, I like the bad dudes hit it. I let the no ain't shit dudes hit it. And I make the boyfriend wait. They telling y'all this shit. It is not hiding it. They out here. And it's a lot of them. And so, they standards are lower, so why dudes ain't getting it? We're gonna have to get into that, right? Back in the days for us, it was kind of a sport. That was we used that as a sport. Go to the club, see who can get the most hoes day by day. We used to do contests. We would do contests like, we're gonna go to the mall and see who can get the most numbers, or everybody put $10 in a bowl. We're gonna go to the mall and see who can get the most numbers. We're gonna see who can get the most pussy this weekend. Like, we used to do shit like that. And that's how we developed our game, but we was outside. So when she say like technology kind of keeps us in the house, I do understand that, because we was out, we had to be outside. We didn't really have all of this stuff, like, I don't want to say distracting us, but we didn't really have as much to do in the house as y'all did. Like, back then, being in the house all day was extremely boring. We had fucking board games and video games, and everybody didn't play video games like that. We didn't have the internet to connect to people, to chat to people all day. Like, you can literally open your phone now and you can spend a whole day on Twitter just reading bullshit. You can spend a whole day on Shade Room comments just going back and forth and interacting with people. We didn't really have that. They had chat rooms and shit in the late 90s, early 2000s, but most people didn't have the internet or even a computer back then. So it was definitely not as much to do. So I do take that into account, but it's just like, if you want it, because it's not like these guys don't want it because they jacking off. They want the intimacy. They want the feeling. They want to bust a nut because they jacking off. And they want it. It's making them bitter. They want to, but it's just a lot of things that's holding them back. And the number one thing that's holding them back is them. But let's get into the reasons. I'm gonna get into a few reasons why, and very important reasons why men are sexless today, and what we can do to change it, because you can definitely change it. The number one reason why men are sexless today, the number one reason, and I don't care what nobody tell me. I'm talking about my experience and coaching dudes and all of this shit. I don't care what can't nobody tell me different. It's pornography, and it's not just pornography, but it's the ease of access to instant gratification. An instant nut. When you feel that itch, you can instantly get you a nut. In the matter of, it's like literally anywhere. Literally anywhere. Do you know how hard it was to get porn back in the days before the internet? Do you know how hard it was? Dudes used to like have to call a hotline or get a magazine or go to the store, the porno store, which is shameful. Like, you know, you got to go in a porno store, buying porn and shit. Like, that's how you had to get porn back in the days, on a tape and shit. And if you wasn't 18, so if you was a teenager, just imagine how hard it was to get pornography. Right? As a teenager, you had to your parents either had to have it, or you had to go to your uncle, not your uncle, maybe your uncle's house, or your friend's parents had it. And then when they go on, y'all sneak and watch it, or whatever the case may be. But it wasn't like, for the young guys that's now, who are young, just imagine you 13 and you horny and it ain't no porn. Like, you see what I'm saying? You got to force yourself to get up and go outside and go talk to a bitch, go talk to a woman. Like, you develop ways to kind of scratch your itch. You see what I'm saying? It was extremely, extremely difficult to get it back then, especially if you wasn't 18. And then it wasn't just this constant barrage of new content all of the time, new and fresh and all of these different genres and all of these different, it wasn't like that. You go to the porno store, they got a few sections, you buy that, you spend $60 on that, and then it's the same shit over and over and over and over again. You can't, especially before DVDs. It was when it was tapes, you gotta fast forward, and it wasn't like how it is now. You could just stop right now. If you want to get to you want to start a video over, you can just slide the thing back and start the video over. Back then, you had to press rewind and wait 40 fucking minutes for it to get all the way back to the beginning of the fucking video. It was just the access to it just wasn't there. And I believe that forced us to go handle our business. As far as, not saying that masturbation didn't exist. I'm not saying that dudes tricking didn't exist. I'm not saying strip clubs didn't exist. Before OnlyFans, dudes used to call up to the hotlines, and the chicks would have phone sex with the chicks. So go to the porno stores, the pornography stores had these little rooms in the back where you can jack off and all this old shit. Trick with massage parlors and all type of shit. That always existed. But for most people who wasn't tricks or on no creep shit like that, we had to get up and learn how to scratch our itch, and which was going to have relationships with women. We just had to do it. Whereas now, you don't have to do that. It's making you lazy. Right? It's making you lazy. You get the instant gratification. But the bad thing with that is that it fucks with your psyche. I don't know nobody that watched porno and feel good after watching it. I'm not above it. I've watched porn too. I beat my shit to porn too. And I can't remember the last time, but I have too, and I ain't never felt good. The only time it didn't feel shameful was when I was locked up in prison. And even then, we didn't have videos and all that. We used to have to read erotic novels, or somebody may have pictures and stuff. And this is just a sidebar. I ain't telling you to beat your meat and go off no fap and all that, but I'm telling you, erotic novels are way better than visual. What's the name? I'm just saying, this is coming from somebody who used to be in the joint spanking my shit. You got to. Them erotic novels are fire, for sure. But I'm not telling you to go do that, but it messes with your psyche, man. It fucks with your confidence. It makes you antisocial because you almost live to watch porn. Like I've talked to guys and they'll be like, don't want to even a girl to come over because they would just rather just watch porn and just jack off, right? And so, and not only do it fuck with your psyche and your confidence, it fuck with your health and your mentality and everything. Like, not that it messes with your health, but a lot of young guys are suffering from erectile dysfunction, and it's strictly because of porn. They can't even get it up to a real woman. I just had a call with a guy, not a call, on what was this, I just uploaded that the last live stream I did, I was kind of roasting a guy about that. This dude, he couldn't get it up. His original question was he couldn't really get it up. He was having an issue. So I'm like, how old are you? He was like, I'm 28. I'm like, you way too young to be having that problem, bro. Like, what's going on? And come to find out, it was the porn. It was the porn. He was spanking this shit 2 times a day. And it is people like, and I was just amazed at that. I'm like, how do y'all have time to do that? This dude's like, that's rookie numbers. This dude's spanking that shit 5 times a day. I'm like, what? That shit make you tired, lazy, unmotivated and shit. And, you can't even get it up. And a lot of young guys are going through that. A lot of young guys are going through that. And it's crazy. You know what's crazy? I was, today, before I got ready to do this, I saw an article about P-Hub. Texas passed a law that requires some type of verification so that it doesn't serve porn to teenagers. And instead of getting down with that law, or I'm trying to find a word for it, instead of complying, basically, P-Hub just disabled Texas access to its website. So if you're in Texas right now, you ain't gonna be able to watch P-Hub. And so that's kind of strange to me that instead of complying with that, they would just pull out. There's an article. It just came out literally this morning. I just saw it. I don't want to read it. I'll post that article in the link. But yeah, that's pornography is the main cause. Now, there's other causes too, but I think pornography is leading the forefront. Now, coupled with pornography, I think the other thing is loser support groups. And what I mean by loser support groups is if you were a loser back then, if you had a loser mentality, you kind of pretty much was a loser to yourself. Like, you didn't have anybody or groups or forums and all of that back then to kind of validate your loserism. You understand? So you can wallow in loserdom. You kind of was like, in order to have a social circle, you had to go out and socialize. And losers didn't get together en masse to like, oh, we're going to be incels. And it wasn't that type of shit. Like how now, like there was no red pill community before the internet, or no incel or black. There was none of that existed. And so the people who couldn't, right? The people who couldn't just couldn't. And they just stayed in their house or whatever they did. It was creeps, or they was tricks. They turned into tricks or whatever. But they couldn't go to a group to validate their loserdom, or validate their loser mentality, or validate their limiting beliefs. You see what I'm saying? Now, young people have that. So if I grow up and I think, well, women only like thugs, right? So that's why I'm not getting it, which is not true, by the way. But if I grow up as a kid thinking that, or if I grow up in high school thinking that because I watched the thug hit the cheerleader, meaning smash the cheerleader, and he getting his little hoes or whatever, but it's not that he's a thug. It's just that he has the balls to go talk to him and close the deal. So in order to make yourself feel better, you tell yourself, oh, well, it's just because he's a thug and I'm not a thug and I don't want to be a thug. Back then, if you even thought like that, you thought like that by yourself, and you didn't know nobody else who thought like that, unless maybe you had a friend that was going through the same thing. Now, if a young kid is growing up and he's thinking that, he can literally get online and find a community of men to validate that. And they can all huddle together and they can just wallow in loserism and wallow in loserdom and just be happy together. Or, excuse me, be miserable together. And they can recruit and they can just spend time and chatting all day, not going outside, trolling in comments and doing all of this shit. You couldn't do that back then. So they have this now. Another thing, when I say like loser support groups, loser support groups is like I don't want to say red pill is loserdom, because red pill dudes get their issue. But things like the black pill, the incel community, which is not really, unless you have a mental, and hear me out for all you guys think you black pill and you incels, you ain't no incel. Incel mean involuntary celibate, meaning you're just not going to be attractive. And the only thing that would make you that is if, well, not attractive, but sexually attractive. The only thing would make you that is if you have a mental deficiency. And I don't mean like a manic depressant or a schizophrenic, or I'm talking about like an intellectual disability, what they would call retardation back in the days, or like you got Down syndrome, or you know, your autism is, you're on the spectrum, but it's kind of extreme. Like that, if you that, then you would be considered an incel. But a lot of y'all are just losers and don't know no game, and you just want somebody to feel bad about you, and you make excuses for everything. You're not no real incel, bro. You know, there's people with special needs who, and even then, if you got a mental deficiency, if you got some money, somebody will fuck you. There's some dirtbag bitch that'll take your money and suck your dick. For sure. So, but you guys that just don't know how to get women, or you wimpy, or you don't have confidence, and you want to make yourself feel better by saying, "Oh, women just don't like me. They like the Chads and all this shit." That's just loser support groups. Just further reinforcing your loserism. You understand what I'm saying? Also, too, what reinforces the loser support groups is now today with the social media age and content creation, and I don't want to say cult, but guys following people and influencers, is you have a lot of losers who are charismatic, right? And they get on, create content, and they create support groups. They create a following of losers. But the loser, he's just charismatic. Or if he's not charismatic, or if he's not a loser, excuse me, if he's not a loser, he's an opportunist. Because I know of guys who get pussy in real life. They slaying the women in real life. They have a relationship at home, but they get online and talk this black pill shit. They get online and talk this, it's over for you if it's this. You just can't this, and women is this. They get online and talk that shit, but in private, they live in their life. You see what I'm saying? But you can get rich. The charismatic losers and the opportunists, they cash in on guys who struggle, and they get rich from coddling and feeding you bullshit, coddling you. Even if they don't have a course to sell you, and a lot of these dudes, they'll say, "Oh, dating coaches are bullshit. I don't have a course to sell you." Attention is the most valuable thing. So although you may not have a course to sell me, right, for $600 or $700, you'll watch me every day for an hour. And do you know how much you watching me every day for an hour is worth over a year? Now picture if it's 1,000 of y'all. Do you understand where I'm going? So they may not have a course to sell you, but they getting your attention, and they getting paid off of you. And it is very, very, very lucrative. Creating content is very, very, very lucrative. People are paying for ad placements and all type of, it is very lucrative. So those guys with those voices, the charismatic losers, or the charismatic opportunists, they reinforce the loser support groups. When when I first started doing this, I had a run-in with some black pill guys. I ain't know what I was doing. I ain't know better than that. I'm even mad that I even said the word black pill on here, because these motherfuckers, I don't know, if you even say the shit out loud, it almost make me feel like we're living in a simulation and people controlling us. Because if you even say that shit, why, I can guarantee you, in the comments of this thing, there's gonna be black pill guys, and you don't ever see them on no other videos. But as soon as I say the word, it's like somebody bat signals them, and here they fucking come. I hate even mentioning them dudes, because they just be on bullshit, just negative and shit. But just trolling and just negative bullshit. But I had a run-in with some dudes when I first started doing this. I didn't know any better. You know, dudes was like, I started hearing this like money status shit and looks matter the most and fucking jawline and hunter eyes and shit. And it blowed my mind. I'm like, what the fuck is y'all talking about, bro? I don't got none of that shit. Like, I don't fucking, you know, and my face is a little chubby right now because I done gained a little weight, but I was a lot slimmer when I started. I don't have no jawline, bro. I don't got none of that shit. Like, my fucking face asymmetrical. I got a cone ass head, like all type of shit. Like, I ain't ever, I don't got hunter eyes. My girl told me I look like a deer, you know, but that's it, not to change the subject to get off course, but that's one of the beauties about like people like me, or with me, and I use that to my advantage as far as seduction go. It sends mixed signals when you look soft, but you're not. You know what I'm saying? That kind of threw my girl for a loop. I look soft. My eyes look soft. Like I don't look like I have this type of spirit that I do have. Like I don't look like where I come from. I don't look like what I've been through, and I don't look like what I do to a motherfucker, right? I don't look like my energy. Like I don't look like I go from 0 to 100, but y'all see I will. And so I was trying to explain this to dudes like I don't, you know, and so I would end up going on their shows, arguing with them. Like I argued with what's this fucking dude name, man? This fucking dude. He got into it with MLD. He get into it with everybody. His name was fuck is his name? MGTOW Dictionary. He's one of those charismatic opportunist guys. Like he's not, I mean, he's a loser in real life, come to find out, but he can get laid. He can get laid. He's very much in shape and everything. He's handsome and all this shit. Well, was, right? But he's one of these guys, but I end up running into him. And I forgot how or what stream he was on, but he was like, oh, we'll come on my stream. And I think it was Afi. I don't know, maybe it was Afi I ran into him with. And so me and him ended up going back and forth, and then we went on another guy's thing. I think this dude's name is Base Pluto, one of these doomer black pill guys. I think his name is Base Pluto or some shit. So I ended up going with him, and I had a debate with him. It's just a bunch of bullshit, just like, and it's just like, and then I remember for maybe a month or two, my comments was just filled with just like negative, cancerous energy. It's just like, what the fuck, bro? I was like, I would never even entertain none of these dudes. And there's another dude, man, fucking this dude, man, Black Pill J, that I fucking had a debate with. I had a debate with him for like, I talked with him like all night. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was getting myself into because I was excited. I'm interacting with people. I'm getting my name out there and shit. I fucking went back and forth with this dude all night on Instagram. But like, I think it was a voice call or voice something. Like literally from like 11 o'clock at night until like 7 o'clock in the morning. Just like debating this dude back and forth. And so I'm like, man, what's your Instagram profile? And I even showed him. And the thing is, this dude is like 6'2", in shape, handsome, all that shit. But he's like this black pill, like, oh, it's over and this and this and that. I'm like, nah, bro, you a fucking loser, bro. Like, it's your mentality. Like, you handsome. And so I'm like, bro, I'm going to create a dating app profile with your motherfucking pictures and all this shit. And I did that. But after a while, I was like, man, fuck these dudes. Because you just go down this dark web of just like, they just sucking you in, and they just keep moving the goalposts and keep moving the goalposts. And I learned, like, you know it already, but it's just like it reinforces that you can't help everybody, and everybody just don't want to be helped. And misery loves company. Some people just want to be fucking miserable. And what I thought were cries for help, when I would see their videos, and I thought they were cries for help, and they just wanted some game so they could It's not cries for help. They just wallow in loserism, and they are signaling for other losers. They are putting out content for other losers to come and join the support group, to identify with other losers. They don't want help. Any of my guys that's watching this who are content creators, up and coming, dating coaches, whatever, if you hear a dude says look maxing, if you hear a dude says, because that's the new shit, a handsome man game and all this shit, you hear a dude say looks money status, it's over, Chad, jawline, green line theory, any of that shit, do not waste your fucking time. They're going to waste your time and they're going to drain you and they're going to put a dark cloud over your head. Trust me, I've been there. But I said all that to say that the loser support groups reinforce why guys are not having sex, because back then, if you was a loser, the people around you was like, you need to get it the fucking together. Your friend group was like, you need to get it the fucking together. You couldn't be around us talking about, I can't get it, I'm too short, we'll light your ass up, or you can't hang with us no more. We going to the mall, motherfucker. You better holler at some bitches. If you don't holler at no bitches, you got to fight me when we get back. We used to do that. To the dude who come around, he ain't confident and all that, you got to get one bitch. If you don't get no bitches, we go to this party and you don't get one phone number, you got to fight when you get back. We was like that. You see what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure we wasn't the only ones. Some of my guys who used to be outside back then comment, we that's how we did it growing up back then. We didn't allow each other to pity parties and all this old bullshit. But now, that's not the case. Another thing that reinforces why guys are not having sex like they used to is misinformation. And a lot of it is deliberate misinformation. Like guys, like I was saying, like these opportunistic guys, you make more money selling bullshit than you do like real shit. Because like my courses are my programs, they real shit. But it's not, you gotta do something about it. So when you take the information, it's not like it's anything hard. The hardest thing about anything that is probably in my shit is, hey, you gotta go talk to the bitch. Everything else is spirit based. Like you have to have, get over the fear of closing the deal or asking a woman back to your place and fear of rejection type shit. But it's not bullshit. But selling misinformation, because misinformation, it keeps you coming back. So if I bird feed you and I make it sound good, but it's not real or it's not right, you'll keep coming back. You'll keep coming back because you want to get your solution. You want to get it. So when I sell you this bullshit and it's like, oh, well, a lot of these guys, they'll sell you some bullshit for $40 and then it don't really work out as like you want to. Then you hit them up. It's like, okay, well, you got to get on a call with me. And then you didn't get the full package. You got to get on a call with me and we'll go a little bit deeper. And so then now they charge you $5,000. You see what I'm saying? Of more bullshit. And it's like, oh, well, you didn't have the mindset and it's just bullshit. So that is a thing. And also bullshit sales. Like me telling you, me getting up here and you could, it's evident with the views. I'm not saying that I can't be challenged. I'm not saying that there's people who may disagree or disagree, but you can't get up here and debate me nothing that I'm saying, because you can't debate the game. It's almost like trying to debate the Bible. And I'm not saying that the shit that I talk about is equivalent to I'm not saying this. That's not what I'm doing. But like, you can't debate the game. You understand? You can't debate that if a woman disrespects you and you don't charge her to the game, she's gonna lose respect for you. You can't debate that. You can't debate that women love confidence. You can't debate that. You can't debate that you have to be bold and take charge and be a leader. You can't debate that. You can't debate things like you need to make the move, because most times women ain't gonna make the move. And so when you don't make the move, they're gonna take it as rejection and they gonna ghost you. So that's why women tell you, I don't feel a spark or you can't get laid. You can't debate that type of shit. So usually people may hate on me. There's people make videos hating and saying all this shit. And the most people can say about me is, oh, I don't see proof. He ain't got no proof. Who he say he is, I ain't no proof. He don't put what they used to call it, receipts. He ain't got receipts, right? But you can't debate this game. So what I'm saying is evident by the viewership. Now I know I don't have the most entertaining content, but it's evident by the viewership that it's not the good information that sells. It's not the good information that people want. It's not the good information. Because if it was the good information, the guys who have the real good information would be extremely popular. The guys who have in this space who have the absolute best information, they're not popular at all. But if that was the case, if people wanted that real shit, we would be in the algorithm. You see what I'm saying? It's the bullshit and the misinformation, and people are watching the misinformation, and it's not working for them. And so when you are, looks, money, status, you need looks, you need this. Once you get your muscles and your money and all this shit, and then the bitch is just gonna come to you. Like, that's misinformation. And so I've seen a lot of guys, they get their money, they work, they fucking get jacked. All of these motherfuckers are in the gym and shit. They start taking up fighting classes and shit, which is weird to me. It's not weird that you learn how to defend yourself, but it's like, bro, we was fighting in school. Like, I grew up fighting and shit. It's like y'all 40 and trying to fight and shit. Motherfuckers was in the house back then. You guys was losers, but y'all get out here talking this bullshit. But we grew up fighting, motherfucker. I don't gotta take no motherfucker. I should, so I can learn how to do jujitsu and properly do it. But we had our testosterone flowing because we was outside fighting, riding our bikes to the other side of the town to see a bitch. But them niggas hating, so we got to fighting in school, getting jumped after school, fights every day after school. We was doing that, fighting in jail and shit. I kind of went on a tangent there, but I said that to say, I had lost my train of thought, but. It's this, the women gonna come to you, and if you learn how to fight and you get your money and you get a good car, the women gonna come to you. It don't work like that. That's misinformation. You go up to a woman and you say these lines, that's misinformation. Women like money, looks, and status, and that's how you get the good. That's misinformation. Game is not real, and that's misinformation. Just be yourself is bad advice. You got to act like this. That's misinformation. You see what I'm saying? And this is the popular stuff. It's the popular stuff. Be toxic. That's misinformation. It's not that women like toxic guys. It's that the guy who is toxic met that woman's needs. So you thinking, I see a lot of guys, they took a lot of this advice over the years, and they fucking act like, the videos tell them to act, and they ain't getting no play. And it's like, man, what the fuck? Misinformation. So misinformation will always keep you stuck. Now the next one that's reinforcing the sexless male epidemic is limiting beliefs. A lot of you guys don't love yourselves. You don't feel good about yourselves. You don't think highly of yourself, and that keeps you in the house stuck, right? And it makes you unattractive. It makes you. Women put more stock into how you feel about yourself, how you see yourself, your vision of yourself, than what they feel about you or what they think about you. They put more stock into what you saying about yourself than what she's saying about you or what her friend's saying about you. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of guys just don't understand that. And, when they even try, they get shot down before they even get their foot in the door. Or they believe that they can't because of the charismatic loser or the charismatic opportunities or the misinformation. They believe that they're not handsome enough. They believe that they're too short. As if short guys don't get play. Most of my homies was short and slay everybody. Right? They was slaying everything that moved. I was pretty much the tallest dude I hung with for a while. Nah, it was a dude or two taller than me, but most of my homies was 5'7", 5'6". My best friend 5'7". My other homie 5'6" or some shit like that. Running through them, right? But they don't believe that they can. They don't believe if they not 6'1", then. Like the BPJ dude I was talking about, he just believe he can't do it. Like this nigga was like 6'2", cut up, jawline, nice hair, all this shit, and he don't believe he can. He just think that if you're not a Chad or if you're not a fucking drug dealer, then bitch ain't gonna give you no play. I was talking to a dude on the stream, and it was a comment that a lot of guys, a lot of these nerd guys, especially the suburb black nerd guys, they believe that girls don't like them because they educated. They believe black girls don't like them because they're educated or they're smart. They call it punished for being smart. You're not punished for being smart. You're not. It's not that they don't like you because you're smart. They don't like you because you don't have anything to offer outside of. You don't really have anything to offer as far as sexual compatibility. Now later on in life, when them hoes may get you and then have you taking care of them, you have things to offer in that realm, but you don't have anything going for yourself energy wise. And it's not because you're not a thug. Educated guys get pussy every day. Doctors get pussy every day. I got some clients who doctors, and they get all the pussy. You understand me? So don't date nurses, trust me, because the doctors is slaying them hoes. You feel me? And the male nurses and shit too. But I got guys who are biochemists and doctors and all types of smart engineers, smart, running through them. So it's not because you fucking smart and shit. That's just your way to make you feel good about yourself. Oh, well, it's just because I'm smart and she likes the pookie. No, every bitch don't like no pookie. Some bitch, like I tell you, back in the days, we used to have to act different. Like we get a chick in the suburbs, we used to have to act like we had a job in the beginning and shit. Like real talk. I done fake like I had a job and all type of shit before back in the days, because a lot of chicks just wouldn't fuck with you if you was on some pookie shit. But it ain't because you smart. That's a limiting belief. You don't realize that you have it in you, that you can be attractive. You don't realize that the energy is in you. You may not have it right now. You don't know how to cultivate it. We can teach you. But that's why you don't have the energy. You don't have the sexual chemistry. You don't have the sexual marketplace value, but that can be developed. That don't have nothing to do with what you look like. That don't have nothing to do with your height. Now, are there women who like dark-skinned dudes? Yes. Are there women who like tall guys? Yes. Are there women who like black guys? Yes. But whatever a woman likes, there's a group of women who like who you are physically. And that's what you guys don't understand. You think women they just like tall guys. Nah. Some women like tall guys. Some women don't like some women don't like super tall guys. Some women don't like short guys. But there are a whole bunch of women who don't care if you're short or tall, just as long as you can make them feel something. You see what I'm saying? But you don't believe that you can do that. You think you're too short. You think, it's because you ain't black. You see what I'm saying? When there's women who don't fuck with black dudes. It's black women who don't fuck with niggas and black dudes, and it's white women and Spanish women. Now imagine if I internalize that. It's like, oh, I'm just black because I can't get played. But you can clearly see anybody who has any of these limiting beliefs about themselves, you can clearly go outside and see an example that would tell you bullshit. Oh, I'm fat, that's why. Number one, you can lose the fucking weight. If you fat, that's something you can change. But you can literally go outside and see fat dudes with women every day. Oh, it's because I'm black. You can literally go outside and see black dudes with women every day. Oh, it's because I'm white. You can literally go outside and see white dudes with women every day. Oh, it's because I'm Asian. You can literally go outside and see Asian dudes with women every single day. Oh, I'm not tall enough. If women didn't like short dudes, it would be no short people born. Or wouldn't be as many short people. Mexicans be having 1 million kids. A lot of Mexicans are smaller in stature. So now what? It's limiting beliefs. And I just believe loserism and loserdom is comfortable for a lot of people. But that's why, the limiting beliefs. Now, to finish this up, the last one is technology. And this is one of the articles was kind of pointing with the article that I read was one of the pieces was about like technology. And that is true. You got to go outside. Well, the good thing now is you can do dating apps and shit, but you still got to even go outside to get to the date. Well, even you don't even got to do that. You can fucking invite a chick over to your house. But technology has made it a little bit more difficult if you haven't caught up. And when I say difficult, I don't really mean difficult, but it's just different. So technology, for an example, is Instagram, right? And the access of attention that women get. I did a tweet the other day, yesterday or something, that said porn has done, social media has done the same damage to women that porn has done to men. So whereas porn has gave men that instant gratification that made them lazy and whatever the case may be and just keep them stuck, the instant attention that women can get now has made them lazy and entitled. And when I say lazy, I mean lazy lovers. Lazy, entitled, they think you owe them something. It has done pretty much the same damage to the mind, whereas a woman can literally get attention like this. Back then, a woman had to earn her attention by keeping herself up, going outside. If a woman was in the house or she was a homebody back then, she ain't getting no play. And the dude that she met, she hung on to him for dear life. You don't give a fuck how big of a piece of shit he was. And so the attention aspect has kind of changed the game in a sense that women are a lot less tolerable to mistakes or bullshit. So that makes it a little bit more difficult if you don't know what you're doing. But the good thing about the technology and the internet is that you have information to counter that, so you don't make the mistakes and the bullshit. So yeah, it came with the standards, and it's not even that they have standards. It's just that the toleration for bullshit is a lot less. And what I mean by that is, back in the day, it was like a viable strategy to like go meet a woman and then do the whole, well, I want to show her I'm different. I'm not gonna go for the sex, and you go over and shit, and you just fall asleep without making a move. That used to work like a charm back in the day. That don't work like that no more. It work on some, like a certain type of women, but it don't work like that no more. Now, or even if it, like, let's say it didn't work, where it was like, oh, he's different. Let's say if she didn't buy that, right? A woman still would deal with you and pursue you and allow you to pursue her, because again, for a woman to get attention or sexual attention like that, she would have to keep herself in shape. She would have to go buy clothes, put on the clothes, do her makeup, put on the lipstick, go out and position herself to get hollered at and get attention. Whereas now it's just, I post a picture, put a filter on it. She could be looking like fucking Flavor Flav, and post a filter and make it look good, Photoshop it up, and she'll get all type of attention in 100,000 DMs. And so what I'm saying, I said that to say, what that did was, back then, if you pulled that move, and even if she didn't buy it, she would still fuck with you, and she would still tolerate a little bit more your lack of knowledge or your lack of experience, or even if you was playing games and she knew it, she'll still deal with you, because who knows when their next meal was gonna come from. Her next meal meaning consistent attention and validation and all this shit. And so she would deal with you. Now, if you go on a date with a woman and she hot and ready and you don't make the move, she'll ghost you. She'll never talk to you again, because there's 50 other dudes who can get the job done. But if you know the game, you don't have to worry about that. So a lot of guys just don't know the game. It's a lack of knowledge, but that's what makes it harder. It's stuff like that. But if you know the game, it's actually 1,000,000 times easier. It's 1,000,000 times fucking easier. So technology changed the game in that way. And again, it is a lot more distractions. And, some guys would rather just, well, fuck, I'm going to just sit on the video game and just, be social. Back then, video games, or the people who played, video games existed, but everybody didn't have the internet and shit. And so the video games get boring after a while. It was the same old game over and over and over and over and over again, right? You play the same game, the same linear game over and over and over again. Whereas now video games have updates. They fucking add new content to them, and you can get online and you can socialize. So a lot of the times, that is better to a lot of people than going out to a nightclub and being social or going to a party. So that effect with tech had that. A part of technology has an effect on it as well. So, but even still, you can still do that and get online and just swipe and get you some bitches, even if you're a homebody. You see what I'm saying? So it changed the game in that way, but it also made it easier. So now you don't have to go out. So although it's distracting you and keeping you in the house, you with dating apps and fucking Instagram, you ain't got to even go outside. So it's all about the knowledge and knowing what to do, and having, you know, the support group to kick you in your ass. Like we had the support group to go do what we needed to do as far as like dating women and learning the game. We had our friends and accountability partners. We didn't call it that then. We didn't even think of it like that then. But it's like everybody put fucking $10 in this thing. 7 of us go out. That's what, $40 when you 17 years old. Hell yeah, that's in fucking 2001. A lot of money does back then. Not a lot, but you know what I'm saying. It's enough to fucking, you know, have you a little good time and shit. You know, you can eat fucking Jamaican beef patties all weekend, or chicken wings, or whatever you want to do all weekend, or go get you some new motherfucking Dickie shorts and some white t-shirts and shit with that $40. Or take a little broad out, you know, get a little broad some chicken wings, or get you some weed or something with that $40. So you put all that $40, we said whoever get the most numbers get the money. Or nigga, whoever, if you don't get no bitches, your scary ass, you gonna have to fight when we get back. You know, we had that type of shit. And so that's all these guys need now is instead of loser support groups. That's why it's a good segue too. It's crazy how this happened, or how I'm talking about this. But that's why I'm creating now, when I was saying earlier how things are about to change as far as my products and services go, I'm going to get ready to create a community, and I'm going to lead with the community. So instead of saying, "Hell, go to my webinar and this and this and that," I'm not going to be selling the courses like that no more. It's going to be about community, because we need these communities. We need these support groups, with winner support groups and shit. So that's coming. Be on the lookout. And we also need the information. That's why the Ladies Man Bundle. Get back to that. The Ladies Man Bundle is coming April 15th. The information is there. Is it harder? It's not necessarily that it's harder. It's just different. It's just different. And so these are the things that's keeping men from getting the access to sex like that. But it's 100% within their control. Like, you can control that. Like, you don't have to suffer. You don't have to be confined to the chains of loserdom, wallowing in your loserism mentality. You don't have to be like that. You can actually win. You don't need to be 1 million feet tall and make $1 million and have the flyers. You don't need none of that shit. Trust me, you don't need that. All you need to do is the willpower. And maybe you need a little help, an accountability partner, a group, a support group, or a little bit of information. But that's what guys like me are here for. You understand? But anyway, that's that. That's why men are sexless today. It's 100% within your control. You can change it. If you want to make yourself better, if you want to do better, stay on the lookout. Be on the lookout for my community that I'm getting ready to launch. And get on the wait list for the Ladies Man Bundle. It'll teach you the whole game, front end to back end. Get on the wait list for that. That will be out in April 15th. Click the link in the bio, the description, wherever you're seeing this at. Click that link, put yourself on the wait list. But anyway, guys, follow me on all social media platforms at King Dreism, KingDreism. We do this separate Savor Bro show every other week. So I think which I don't know if it's the first Friday or the third Friday. I don't know. But we do this every other week. So, with these in-depth shows like this where I'm breaking down the game. So they release every Friday. So stay tuned to that. On every Tuesday, I do a live show on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch. It's all live on all the platforms. We do Q&As, chop up game, just, talk shit, roast people, all that. So come check me out on any of the respective platforms at Tuesday at 8 p.m. Again, follow me on all social media platforms. Get on the wait list for Ladies Man Bundle at ultimately.com, or click the link in the bio, the description, or wherever you see this at. Anyway, guys, it's your gracious game advisor, yours truly, King Dre. I'm gone. In 2024, dating has become ruthless and competitive. With the technological advances we've made in society being the main culprit. Social media and dating apps have leveled the playing field. Today, women have an edge that they've never had, with choice and options at their fingertips. Now, the gap between the men who can is the highest it's ever been. So where does that leave you? Frustrated, disappointed, lonely, left on scene, canceled dates, ghosting, let's just be friends, and I need to get to know you more rejections. I know it seemed like you're on a dark, dead-end road, but that changes right now. I have the solution for you. I have the keys to transform you into the ladies' man that women can't resist. Yes, you too can be amongst the 5% of men who know this game. This system will teach you the entire seduction process from the initial approach all the way to sexual escalation. Gain valuable skills in screening, texting, flake prevention, sexual escalation, and so much more. Are you ready to start winning? Are you ready to become the ultimate ladies' man?